Good morning, guys. On to part 2 of our assessment questions. So today we're going to look at the rest of the questions, not the writing prompts, but the questions. So we're starting with number 7. We left at number 6 yesterday. Number 7 and the next several ones will go with passage 2. And then there's a couple of grammar type questions. So here we go. Number 7 tells me in paragraph 4. Remember, paragraph 4 is important because it tells me where I'm going to go back and look. What is the meaning of the word supervisor? And again, remember, when we're asked for a meaning of a word, we should plug in the choices they give us, where the word is in the passage, and ask ourselves if it makes sense. Number 8. Which of these is a key event? Remember, key events are important events that help put the story together, so to speak. Without them, sometimes if they're missing, the story can go on. But a lot of times they're the details that continue the plot. They keep the story going. If it didn't happen, then the next thing would be different. But now we're looking for just the last part of the story. So remember, that's important, because now we're focusing on the end of the story. What was really important in the end of the story? Number 9, based on the story details. Okay, so we're looking at details again. Choose 2 inferences the reader can make about Tim's dad. So remember, an inference is an idea that we have based on what we know. So it's like an educated guess. We're taking what the story tells us and what we know about life or a specific topic, and we're going to come up with an idea that makes sense, that's educated, that we've thought about. And we're looking at Tim's dad. So what do we know about Tim's dad? 2 things we know about Tim's dad based on what we've read about him in the story. Number 10, which phrase from the passage, I'm looking for a phrase, which is more than one word, gives a clue to the meaning of anonymous in paragraph 13. So they're not really asking us what anonymous means. They're asking you, how did you figure out what anonymous means? Which one of these gave you the idea of the meaning of anonymous? Your context clues. Which one were the best context clues? All right, here's one of those wonderful, put them in sequence and all that good stuff. So we're choosing 4 sentences. 4 sentences that belong in a summary. Okay, so a short retell. And then we're putting them in order. We're going to put them in order from 1 to 4, being the first thing that I would include in a summary to the last thing. So it says right here, 3 events will not be used. We are not using them all, friends. We're only using 4. I need to do a retell, a summary of the story, using 4 sentences that are in order from the first thing that happened to the last thing that happened. In paragraph 2, the why, and this one we don't necessarily need to know. We're going back to paragraph 2 because it's asking us about vowel sounds. The why in quality is pronounced the same as, and yesterday I reminded you guys, say these words out loud. Say them out loud until you hear the same vowel sound that you hear on the end of the word quality. Why didn't Tim's dad, I'm going to call him Tad, why didn't Tim's dad, so that's my who, want to complain about problems at the mine? So what was it that caused him not to complain? Okay, now we're going to skip the writing prompt for today. We're going to go to this page. They've given us a paragraph, and it has some mistakes in grammar. Okay, and grammar is the combination of things that we use to create something that's well written. So capital letters, punctuation, the correct verb tense. So instead of saying who that be, we would say who is that, or who are they. So it's just using correct language, and it's using correct punctuation and correct capitalization. So the first sentence asks how we should write sentence 1. So I'm just focusing on sentence 1. Okay? And it's telling you, pay attention to the part, oh, I just went now too far. I did sentence 2. Right now, I watched the TV news. Okay? So they're asking, how could you rephrase that to be correct, or is it correct as is? What is the best way to write sentence 2? So now you're going to focus on sentence 2. And again, even if you're not sure of the grammar rules, to know how to answer these, say them and ask yourself, does it make sense? And I will say, for example, right now, I watched the TV news. Right now means I'm in the present, right now. But when I add ed to the end of a verb, I watched, it means I've already done it. So does it make sense to say that right now I've already watched the TV news? Those are the kind of things that you want to think about with these questions. What is the correct way to write the underlined word in sentence 3? So I'm focusing on that word that's underlined in sentence 3. And what is the correct way? Again, this is talking about a verb. This is talking about a verb. How should I write it correctly? What is the correct way to write the underlined words in sentence 7? And looking at my answer choices, I see that I'm talking about a place. So what do we know about proper nouns? The name of a place. Is it written correctly, or should we change it? And then the best way to write sentence 9. Go back to those sentences, read them out loud, hear yourself say them, and see what you think. And then the last ones are other writing prompt, and we'll tackle those tomorrow. So today we'll read our second passage, and we will see if we hear any of these questions as we read and kind of make a note of them so it makes it easier to go back. But you now have these questions analyzed. We know what we're looking for specifically, the reading skill, and who it pertains to, and we'll be ready to tackle this test. We'll see you guys in our small groups.